So let me just get this right. Ireland is teetering on the edge, on the cusp, on the precipice of erupting into violence. It's the 25th year anniversary of the peace deal and the power sharing agreement at Stormont. But there is no power sharing agreement right now. There is no Stormont. There is no government in place because it's refusing to operate, because every side refuses to work with each other right now. Ireland is at a really kind of tense and difficult moment in time. Tensions are high. It's very fractious. Everyone is slightly on edge. And what do we decide to do? What does the world decide to do? It decides to send in Joe Biden. So at a time when, it's a bit like a Thanksgiving dinner where you've got kids over that are politically diametrically opposed to you, or, you have your son over for Christmas with his wife, the daughter-in-law from hell, who thinks you're a raving nutter, was probably someone who loved the state injectable, loved lockdown, and was really keen to let you know that you weren't welcome at their house because they were a vaccinated, pro-vax house. So it's like that kind of level of tension, like families that's on the edge of having an argument and everyone's trying to be quite polite so that no one falls out. And then you send in Biden. It is like taking a hand grenade to your Thanksgiving dinner or your Christmas dinner with the dodgy daughter-in-law who's got control over your son, who loved the vaccine, and you haven't been speaking for the last 2 years now, you're pretending to get along, and just lobbing a hand grenade in there. You've got a guy that identifies as Irish Catholic, American Irish Catholic, who loves to be, part of that whole Irish Catholic thing. Therefore, he's Irish, but not British. And certainly not British Irish, just Irish, Catholic Irish, despite the fact most kind of Catholics were trying to distance themselves from the Catholic Church once we found out that many of the people involved in the Catholic Church were fiddling with young boys. But maybe that's Biden's thing. I mean, who can say with the Democrats? So not only that, but, he's standing there coming out with stuff that's inflaming tensions, that's making things worse. And no one can be sure what's going to come out of his mouth at any time. He didn't even recognise Rishi Sunak, which is fair enough because Rishi Sunak looks like a small boy and irrelevant in his trousers flapping around his shins. He doesn't really know where he is at any given time. And he's just mentioned the black and tans and is unaware of what he said. So he's unaware of himself and he's being put into something that is very tense. It is bound to go wrong. It was always going to go wrong. These really, I feel so bad in a way for him. I feel bad for him because I blame entirely his handlers, his managers, his wife, the people around him. Putting Biden into Ireland is like putting a naked man on Xanax into the swamps of Florida with a raw chicken shoved up his arse and expecting things to go well. It's like walking through San Francisco with your wallet on display or trying to be a young white girl dressed in like a skirt and maybe a smaller top and trying to make it through East London. It's not going to go well. It's not going to end well. This is not going to end well. And whoever thought this was a good idea needs to think again.